Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm doing it with one of my favorite cups, which was actually given to me by one of my subscribers. Really, really love it. I'll tell you what. Oh my goodness, guys. What an amazing weekend we just had as far as I'm concerned. It was a blessing in disguise. You're seeing Christmas in September. These opportunities that we get in XRP when we get these kind of lulls and stuff like that, when they come, of course, they come with a lot of panic. And I am always amazed at how much fear gets riddled through the system. And oh, do the fudsters come out in droves when the prices are down. Have you ever noticed that they're almost silent when the prices are up there and stuff like that? But boy, when the price dips, they don't want you buying. They don't want you taking advantage of, the low prices and the opportunities that those represent. That's what I believe in. Right now, man, there is a big time narrative, and maybe you've actually seen it. This seems to be it must be coordinated because I've never seen such a narrative with Bitcoin maxis as it is right now. I mean, the FUD that's coming out, the utter and when they cannot, attack the argument, what do? They attack the person or they attack the ecosystem. And the stuff that they're coming out and saying about, people that are into XRP and stuff like that is truly wild. I haven't seen such an aggressive stance in a long, long time. But that's what's going on. And my feeling is a lot of them must be really just shaken up or very, very threatened that they're going to lose some level of market share, to XRP. And they're getting real panic. So, of course, they're just trying to make it, oh, well, if you're into XRP, you're a total idiot. You're just this, you're just that. Using derogatory terms and retard. You ever see that? Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what. You use that term, when you're talking about different things and all that kind of stuff. They are right on you. They're right on you, but not with these guys. It seems like they're like Teflon Don. They can say what they want. And I always kind of think to myself, well, I wonder what the reason behind it all is. Because, guys, nothing happens in this space by sheer and utter happenstance. Most of the time, it's because there's some sort of a coordinated effort. Something is coming down the pike. The manipulation in the space is truly off the chain. Really, it is. I mean, we know that the prices of these assets are heavily, heavily manipulated. And of course, when the exchanges see their exposure, and right now, it would not surprise me to watch a pump happen in these assets. And the reason is because do you know how many shorts are sitting out there? Well, the exchanges definitely know it as well. And they're out there thinking, hey, look at all the exposure that we got with all of these shorts and, the multiple, leverages, because they'll allow you to do it up to 100x in some of these exchanges, which is mind numbing. But needless to say, I wouldn't be surprised because have you ever seen those scammy wicks where they'll go in, they'll pump it up and wreck all the shorts and then they'll drop it down and wreck all the longs and stuff like that? It happens all the time. And so, of course, and by the way, there is no regulation surrounding, and there should be, but it doesn't seem to be enforced about all the insider trading that goes on. We know that in this space, it's big. It's so big. And that's why you just got to know what you hold and why you're actually investing in it and what you see infrastructure-wise in the future. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of chartists out there, TA guys as well, and they're basically saying, hey, what we're watching right now is nothing to be terrified of. We've been here before in prior runs, and the probability of watching these things reverse the trend that they're in right now is going to be big. On the 17th of September, most people are expecting to hear Jerome Powell come out and say, yep, we're going to cut the interest rates, and it's probably going to drop down about 25 basis points. That's my guess. Now, it should probably be 50, but I don't think they're just going to do one. I suspect they're going to do a lot of them. And, cascading through, just kind of like what the ECB did. And I believe that that is going to have an impact on all of these equity markets when they do that. Because money, guys, it's not stagnant. It loves to move. And it wants to move where it's going to see the greatest yield, right? And I'm going to tell you, in these spaces, that's when it happens. And you're watching all the setup. You could not see a better setup for, these assets as I believe we can right now. And so for me and for Judy, we're not shaken up. We're not shaken out. And we're not going to let all of this nonsense, this narrative coming out there that, oh, if you're into anything other than Bitcoin, my goodness, you're probably a total idiot and all that kind of stuff. And shame works, guys. Come on, group shame works. We know that it does. How many people get their affirmation from social media? And, because somebody did a like or a Twitter or a TikTok or a this or a that or whatever. And don't let yourself ever get hooked into that. Whether people approve of you or not is inconsequential. You're not out there for their approval, right? You're sharing your thoughts, your views, your feelings. Now, some will agree and some aren't going to agree. And that's A-okay. And especially the way I see it on this channel, I'll tell you what. We need that critical thinking. We need people that are going to actually give us the opposite point of view and that, but in a way in which it's actually a constructive argument, not just poking holes in people and all this kind of utter nonsense. Because if they can't, win the argument, that's when they turn on you and they start attacking the people. They don't attack the argument anymore. They attack the person, right? And stuff like that. And we see it all the time. And to me, that's just utter laziness. It's absolute laziness. They don't want to think through the argument. But we welcome that different view because we need that critical thinking, guys. We need it. And I love to say, and I say it in my coaching all the time, as iron sharpens iron, we sharpen one another, guys. We sharpen one another. Now, when that happens in the real world, yeah, some sparks may fly. It does not mean we're always going to agree. But there's a focus to it. There's a focus to it. And that's why it's so vitally important. But nowadays, reading an article on Zero Hedge, and you can't believe this. This is truly unbelievable, but actually amazing in and of itself. They're pointing out how kids are graduating from high school. And in one particular instance, this person that had graduated couldn't even read their own diploma. Can you imagine? Talk about a failed system. Because what they do, they just pass them on. They just put them through the mill. It has, getting educated. Well, that's just a side bonus if you actually get educated. But it shows you just the nonsense in these people's minds that, no, everyone needs a ribbon. Oh, we couldn't ever correct that because goodness knows that will affect their esteem. Are you kidding me? You're setting these kids up for utter failure. And also they're acquiescing that critical thinking. AI is taking over a lot of, folks thinking like they're just, I'm rather too lazy to think through the problem myself and solve the problem. I'll just let AI do it. Well, I'm going to tell you what, AI, guys, has a narrative too. And, you can see it, literally, you can see it. I'll tell you what, wow. And people are putting so much stock into all these AI platforms that, AI, they're so much brighter, so much smarter. Guys, they're all programmed. It's all program. It's a program, but the data that it's fed affects it. And of course, you can literally, and people have proven it, that AI will develop a political narrative in and of itself. Isn't that something else right there? And yet we're going to want those kind of systems out there doing our thinking for us? I don't think so. God gave us a mind so that we could use that mind and have that critical thinking. And that's why I'm always out there saying, guys, don't listen to the noise because that's all that it is. And get yourself shaken up because you looked at the price and you're like, oh, I'm so down because the price is down. Don't hook your feelings to that. Get excited at the fact that you're able to buy these assets that are going to revolutionize the wide world, which we, by the way, know that is an absolute fact because distributed ledger technology, they are developing that system right now. And in some cases have it practically all sewn up. All they got to do is flip the switch and we're into a new digital economy. Stablecoin legislation. Do you realize how that is? What stablecoins are going to do, guys, is they're going to be the resort, like Scott Bessent said, to underpin the dollar. Why? Because stablecoins are going to be required to buy treasury bonds in order to, back their stablecoins. That is a legislative thing. Well, what does that do? That gives a market for the debt market, doesn't it? It gives a buyer for the debt market. There's intention behind it all. And so we know that that's where we're going. But they want us to believe that, oh, wow, this is just absolute poppycock. It's hogwash. Oh, it's a pipe dream. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, is it really? I hear a statement in the comments all the time. Oh, they're not going to let us all get rich like that. Oh, really? Well, they let some of us get rich. They certainly allowed Judy and I guess, for our lives to change. And I know so many others in this space that have become multi-millionaires as a result of getting into it early. And do I think we're early? Oh, you had better believe it. Buy an XRP at $2.70 when just a little while ago, it was like, 50 cents back there in November? And I think that getting it at $2.70 now is going to be the same thing when it's up there at 30 and 40 bucks. And do I think those days are coming? You had better believe I do. I absolutely do. Number one, because of the crashing dollar, the value of the dollar is going down, that's for sure. And secondly, because the demand is going to outpace supply in ways you can't even imagine, guys. It will. Why? Because the wide world is going to be needing it for practically every little thing that we do. That's why. The demand is going to be insane. Insane. And most people, they don't even understand it. But the powers that be do. Do you think that BlackRock and JP Morgan and all these other ones and Goldman Sachs, that they're not out there diving, face first into this space, gobbling us up as much as they can? You had better believe it. The ETFs that all these guys have put out that they want to sell, well, they're going to be out there gobbling up XRP like no tomorrow. And guys, there is a limited supply of XRP, isn't there? Unlike Ethereum, which is an unlimited supply. Think about that. Why, oh why is the narrative on all of these ones like that? It just blows my ever-loving mind when you think about it. And of course, with Bitcoin, come on, it was supposed to be a peer-to-peer monetary system. Now, because they can't achieve that, we're going to be a store of value digital gold. Where in the white paper for Bitcoin did it ever talk about it being a store of value or digital gold? It did not. That is not the intention for Bitcoin. But because Bitcoin could not achieve what they had hoped it would achieve, guess what? The same engineers like David Schwartz that were working on Bitcoin, lo and behold, they came out with XRP right there. XRP was meant to do and solve all the problems that they saw with Bitcoin. Did you know that? Read it up. It's actual history. That is a historical fact right there, guys. A historical fact. And that's why all the Bitcoin maxis have gone after it like crazy. And it's the most insane narrative you would even think about. Because I'll tell you what, and this is true with Anthony Pompliano. Look, he knew what XRP was, and he knew what it meant, and on and on and on. He knew it all. But boy, did his narrative ever change at one point there. And it changed, guys, because they realized, our golden goose is about to get cooked. And so, of course, they cooked up all this narrative. They paid, by the way, this is factual, paid fudsters to come and fud XRP and all that kind of stuff. It's truly wild, but that's what goes on in this space. So you can't listen to all that, guys. You can't listen to all that. You got to get your own thinking going out here. But that's why I say, look, what's coming? And, the demand is going to shock the living daylights out of most people when it actually comes on. And that's what's going to revolutionize the world. So getting it today at these prices, do I ever see that as big time opportunity right there? I'll tell you what. Now, having said all that, guys, Versan Algera, Black Swan Capitalist, and I, at lunchtime today at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, around that time, we're going to be doing the Turning Point, and it's going to be a great episode. Can't wait to see you there. And by the way, later on today, we're going to have another fantastic video for you guys. It's going to be stupendous. So until then, I hope you have an absolute fabulous one, and take care.